Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today I have a card featuring the June 2015 Simon Says Stamp card kit. I used the cardstock and pattern paper and stamps in the kit with some exclusive Simon Says Stamp dies and a background stamp for this fun birthday card. This is an inlay style card, so to create that I'm going to go ahead and die cut all of the elements for my card first. I'm using some of the white cardstock in the kit to cut both this scallop frame from the Simon Says Stamp Frames die collection and the Balloon Bouquet stamp, which is this great balloon outline die that will create the outlines as well as die cut those inside pieces. So I'm going to die cut all of the white first, and I'm going to only be using the scallop frame portion. I can put that rounded rectangle frame aside and use that for another project, and then I'll be using the white outline for the balloons and discarding any of those inside pieces. I also need a blue rounded rectangle for the inside for the inlay portion, so I will die cut the scallop frame again using that same die, and this time I will set aside the scallop frame for another project and keep the rounded rectangle. So it will be that frame and then the rectangle piece here. And then I need to create the inlay, so I need to die cut those balloons again using the Balloon Bouquet die from this rectangle. And I'm using what I've already die cut to kind of help me line it up. This really helps with spacing issues. I had laid it out previously, and this just helped me really get the balloons exactly where I want them to go. So I'm going to just go ahead and run it through the machine like this. To keep all of the pieces in place, because a little bit of that white frame as well as the blue rectangle are going to be die cut to create the inlay. Because I just want to temporarily adhere these just for the die cutting purposes, on the back of the pieces I'm going to piece this together using a little post-it tape in a couple of areas. This will just ensure that when it die cuts, it's going to die cut exactly where I need it to, so that I can piece it all together kind of like a puzzle once it's all die cut. Now, to get that to run through smoothly on my die cut machine, I'm just going to cut off some of that excess white cardstock, and then I will run that through. This is going to give me all of those, the basic outline pieces for my card. Then I need to die cut some of the pattern papers from the kit. This is going to be, or fill in all of those balloon areas with the bright fun balloons. And the pattern paper in the kit has lots and lots of great designs. I am going to use yellow, pink, orange, green, and blue for my balloons, and they all have little small patterns, kind of tone-on-tone patterns. I purposely chose those because the balloons are rather small and I want the designs to really pop and show through. I will continue to die cut the balloons from each of my pattern papers. You could create several cards at once and simply fill in a different balloon with each of these. That would be a great way to use up any of those extra pieces, or you could discard them if you don't want to do that. I'm going to peel up all these little pieces and hold on to them until I get my card all put together, and then I could, like I said, either make more cards or discard those. Go ahead and die cut the pink balloon, and then I also did a blue balloon and a green one as well. Once all my die cutting's done, I'm going to use the Misty stamping tool and carefully align my blue rectangle plus those two little background pieces. Gonna just carefully place those where they're going to go. I'm not even using a temporary adhesive here. I'm using the Misty tool with this large Falling Stars background stamp from Simon Says Stamp and some Island Blue ink. This is Island Blue cardstock in the kit, and the I just wanted it to be a subtle tone-on-tone design to give that background a little bit of added interest. And I forgot to remove the foam piece from my Misty, so I had to reassemble all of this. I'm glad I noticed it before I tried to stamp it. I'll use one of those magnets to hold my paper in place. Again, make sure I have those little inside pieces or the background pieces in place. I need to move my magnet so that the stamp doesn't hit it. And then I'll just simply press my stars And then I have a great little subtle tone-on-tone background. Once I fill in with the white outline of the balloons as well as those pattern paper stars, it really makes it pop. I'm using a powder tool on that background, and I'm going to stamp greetings from the stamp set included in the card kit. This is also available for individual purchase. And I love it because you can mix and match the greetings to create all kinds of different cards. I am creating the greeting Smile, It's Your Birthday, but you could create all kinds of different greetings. I'm going to stamp both of those in Versamark ink and then use the Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder and sprinkle that on and then heat set that for a nice bold white greeting on the card. I really like how the white complements not only that white scallop border on the card, but the white outlines of the balloons as well. And it pops really nicely off of the island blue background. I'm ready to put the whole card together now. I'm using a little zig glue pin on the back of the white scallop frame, and I've trimmed down the island blue cardstock in the kit for my card base. You can see that little notch there along the right side of the frame. I'm going to place adhesive all over inside of the frame. I will have to add a little more adhesive to a few small areas, but that will help hold down the majority of the background. Go ahead and, I didn't quite get that pieced where it needed to. Press that all in place really nicely, and I can start filling in. I'm going to do all the outline pieces first. So the single balloon, it goes along the side. This is the one that cut a little notch there out of not only the background but the white border, and then fill in with that little blue background piece. This is what creates that inlay, and it's very much like putting a puzzle back together. I find if you only keep those pieces that you need laying around your desk and make sure and remove everything else and put it either in another pile or elsewhere, you don't get them mixed up. Those are those other two background pieces. And then I'm using the zig glue pin to fill in all of my balloons with the pattern papers. And this is what really makes the card pop, I think. Fill in my blue balloon and then finish with the green one. Once I have all of the balloons filled in, you could leave it as is. I decided to put a layer of glossy accents on each of the balloons. It makes them nice and shiny and gives them a little bit of subtle dimension while still keeping this card relatively flat. This makes it a really great, easy design to send through the mail. Let the glossy accents dry for a little bit, and then I finished the card with a scattering of Pretty Pink Posh Bermuda Blue sequins. They add just a little bit of sparkle. You definitely would need to add those, or you could even add maybe a scattering of enamel dots or gemstones. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the June 2015 Simon Says Stamp Card Kit. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.